This is a movie about Travis, a band I never really liked and never really thought much of.
Hello?
Hi, is that Wyndham?
Yeah.
This is Fran Healy from the band Travis. This is a bit out of the blue, but we're making a documentary. We're going to Mexico, and I wondered if you'd be into being the interviewer for it.
So, off I went to Mexico. You ready?
Okay.
You haven't memorised these questions, what?
Travis were never a cool band.
Don't we matter?
No.
Well, maybe it is a little.
But they're not here to kind of make slightly abstract noises for people who've had.
Fortunately for journalists, you're having to codify feelings into language.
Fran Healy's eyebrows, mainly.
I mean, why do we love certain artists? Or maybe the question is, why do we love music?
When we became big, we became almost fashionable. Like Franny had a haircut and something.
Almost fashionable. That's the title.
Your music sounds very cinematic sometimes. How much has been influenced by films?
So music, like, I always think with the success of my band and where we got to and our journey and I always think, wow, man, I'm so lucky because I didn't get a record player until I was 12 or 13. I didn't get a guitar until I was 13, 14. And so I didn't know anything about music. I didn't listen to, our house was quiet. There was no music playing in the house ever. So I didn't know anything about music. What I did know was film. I went to see the movies with my grandfather from the age of 3 until the age of 19 when he died. So we start with this, like baby films. And then we end with Carlito's Way was the final film I saw with my grandfather.
Oh, Charlie. Shh, shh. Hush, Charlie. Oh.
Ain't no hard feelings, Carlito.
This was a great film.
But I gotta think about my future too. You know, peace that way sometimes, papi.
So film, the language of film, I didn't know the craft of filmmaking. I just thought films exist. I didn't know all those names at the end were all the people who made the film. When I went to art school to paint, I didn't know there was such a thing as film school. Do you believe that? I didn't know film school existed. I'm working class, I'm like from poor, so I didn't know that. Art school, I'll go there because I felt different than, I wanted to do something artistic. Then I was good at writing songs. And because you come from working class, it's your ticket. It's your ticket out of the we call it in Scotland the bit, when you're stuck in the poverty trap and you can't get out. And so singing in the band was this, and the film making never came to me. When we started making these music videos, I was like, what's going on here? This is interesting. And eventually, like you said, necessity, I have to make our videos for the band. The first one was my favorite one. It was kind of early. It was for a song called Another Guy.
Cause I saw you with another guy.
film director because he's a friend of mine. And when we lived in Berlin, I knew Wolfgang, Daniel Brühl, and Tom Tykwer. And these are great filmmakers and an actor. And I realised, oh my God, it's difficult to make a film, but I could maybe make films. And they made it seem, you just need to get this, and this, and then you can make films. So it's not a big mystery. And so they gave me confidence. And so I'm just starting now. And I was at the Q&A with Alfonso 2 days ago, and I asked him, is there any advice that you have as a first filmmaker, like when you were young, that you still keep today for yourself? And he said, do your own thing. Don't do anyone else's thing. Just always do your own thing. And he was answering me something I already knew, because I do it with my music, because I've never copied any other person. I only have my own language. So to go back to this cinematic thing about my music, that's where all of my influences came from the films that I saw, and not from music. So it's interesting. You see this in the films, in the music.
Which films directors do you admire, and what music documentaries do you like?
Oh, the music documentary I love the most is The Last Waltz, the band.
Object is to keep your balls on the table and knock everybody else's off. The band has been together 16 years. It's a damn impossible way of life.
I really enjoyed the music documentary about Rush that was on recently. It's on Netflix. Amazing. They have like footage of them starting the band at the table. Their father is filming them, and they're like, let's do a band. It was very cool. My favourite directors, I mean, I have a very broad thing. A lot of art movies I'm not so interested in, because they seem to be more self-indulgent to the director and not giving to the audience. And the audience enjoy this for the art films. But say, directors who have moved me, Spielberg, I think, I was talking to a friend last night, and we went to see Roma, and you see, Alfonso's like, oh, and he's this guy, and people with Spielberg, they're like, oh, because he's Spielberg. But to me, Spielberg is the biggest of all. The things that he has done, and he's so good that he makes it look so easy, and the storytelling is so simple that people think it's naive and it's not as good as the more arty things. But say both those directors, they're masters, Kubrick. Lynn, I met her the other night, and I was sitting across the table from Lynn. I was sitting across the table, and I heard her talking, and I was like, huh? And she said, where are you from? And she's like, I'm from Glasgow. I'm from Glasgow. Whereabouts in Glasgow are you from? Oh, from Maryhill. I'm from Maryhill. We both, and she lived 3 streets away from me in the same part of Glasgow. I don't know her, I never met her before. And we were like, God. And I was like, I'm in the band Travis. Oh my God. It was really cool. She's great. Her stuff is dark, really dark. So it's an exciting time for me because I've done all this music, and I'm only just starting to maybe look at films and. But I'm enjoying this moment because I remember this moment in music for me when you don't know what you're doing, you're just beginning, and it's the best time when you start, you make your first songs or you make your first whatever, you make mistakes and you learn from them, and the longer you do something, the less mistakes you maybe make, and I think mistakes is where great art is, in the mistakes and going, oh, that was good, that's good, let's just use that mistake and make something out of it. So I'm really enjoying it, and this has been so cool. The festival and the people and the reaction to my film, it's been really special.